I'm a construction worker. They asked me to shadow a robot doing exactly my job, they said. Watch and compare what it does versus your approach and report I expected to document its mistakes. I ended up documenting mine. Shadowing the Robot, 7:12 a.m. I watch the system light up. A wall section begins. The laser grid activates across the foundation. The robotic arm doesn't hesitate. No running a level twice. No standing back to sight the line. The robot starts immediately. When I laid brick, I started each course and forced myself to slow down. The production schedule screamed. I resisted. The robot has no schedule to resist. It simply builds. The metrics load. 47 bricks per hour. Joint thickness, 10 millimeters. Plumb deviation, 0.0 millimeters. The system confirms each parameter in milliseconds. Check, check, check. When I checked these same tolerances, I checked them constantly. Stepped back every third course. Not because I missed anything, because slowing down revealed what speed concealed. The robot doesn't slow down. It accelerates through certainty. Then something shifts. The system pauses. Not like I paused, but it pauses. All measurements within spec, but the pattern recognition model activates. I watch it scan the mortar batches. Temperature rising, humidity dropping, wind speed increasing from the east. I caught this the same way. Not from individual measurements, from the conditions changing. I called it experience built from watching mortar flash dry on summer afternoons. The robot calls it environmental variable deviation affecting material workability windows. Different language. Same warning. Brick delivery data loads. The materials look consistent. Quality certified even. When I inspected deliveries, I looked slowly, checking for color variation. These bricks came from a different kiln run. Shade slightly warmer. Texture marginally rougher. Each brick individually acceptable. The robot sees it faster, not because it inspects better, because it's comparing this batch against 4,000 previous installations simultaneously. It recognizes the signature. Mid-run material switches that looked fine during construction, but created visible banding after weathering. Customer complaint correlation, 56% higher than baseline. I would have stopped here. Laid out 20 bricks, stood back 15 feet, looked at the blend under natural light, decided whether the variation would show in 5 years. The robot doesn't stand back. It calculates. The workflow adjusts. Not to reject the shipment, to blend pattern protocol. It alternates bricks from 3 pallets, the same technique I would have used, the one not required by standard specification. This is where we converge. Productivity, 45 bricks per hour. Joint consistency, 10 millimeters plus or minus 0.5 millimeters. Wall plumb, 0.0 millimeters deviation. I slowed my pace on purpose because I learned that speed in the morning creates problems in the afternoon. The robot adjusts pace because its training data proved the same thing through repetition. I relied on years of callbacks I witnessed. The robot relied on thousands of installation outcomes it absorbed. The pace adjustment triggers. When I slowed a job with passing inspections, I worried about the superintendent's reaction, about falling behind schedule, about the foreman asking why I dropped from 52 bricks per hour to 45. The robot doesn't worry. It simply outputs, production rate optimized for environmental conditions and material variability. The documentation is cleaner than mine ever was, more precise, less defensive. 6 months later, the wall weathers evenly, not because the robot caught something I would have missed, because it caught the same thing I learned to catch, but it caught it without the superintendent watching, without the pressure to make quota, without the 7:12 a.m. push to hit numbers. Final metrics, 2,847 bricks, 10 millimeter joints, 0.0 millimeter plumb, 0 callbacks. I saw quality through experience, The robot saw quality through patterns. I learned from years holding a trowel. It learned from thousands of weathered walls. When I watch it work, I'm not watching replacement. I'm watching my instincts, translated into precision.